Hello traders, and welcome to the Christmas edition. This video is good through Monday, December 26, 2011. Well, this is the Christmas weekend. We have a lot to talk about. GDP drops to 1.8. However, we had jobless claims last week, dropped by a couple thousand, beating estimates. And this week on Friday, right at the tail end of the day, last half hour or so, we get a nice little pop. So Santa rally in full effect. Nice run this last week. Big breakout through some moving averages. Continues to bust through a ginormous symmetrical triangle. Resistance, 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 and right here, resistance broken, and we broke over that shadow line, the orange line coming down. I'm going to just remove that, and then we pop over the 200-day moving average. So gang, I'm bullish. Bottom line, symmetrical triangle broken to the upside. I am bullish in this environment. We're over zero right now in the histogram MACD, and here is the one stipulation. The one stipulation is if we drop, especially on a huge red candlestick, and we after a day or two up here, and we immediately come back down inside this triangle, these two lines right here. If that happens, this will be a hook of death, and this thing should just crash and burn. Outside of that happening, gang, we're bullish. Higher swing lows. We're working on higher swing highs. We're busting major resistance. If you look here at the weekly chart, big symmetrical triangle, breakout. We have the 50-week moving average acting as resistance. If we go here to the monthly, down, 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 we bounce off the 200-month moving average. We have higher low for the month of December, lower high, but we end on a big bullish note. However, this is an inside trading candlestick so far because we made a lower high and a higher low. Still a lot of indecision in the markets. However, the indecision has a bullish bias. I'm going to go here to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ monthly. Big time doji. It is less bullish than what we're seeing in the S&P. Still above the 20-month moving average, but very indecisive. This dude's wanting to break out or down in a big way, but the S&P is leading the markets right now. The NASDAQ is not as bullish. The weekly chart, we have not broke out yet. So if that's the case, a lot of technicians will tell you that the NASDAQ does the leading. That if this thing starts to break down, that will yank that S&P straight down with it. It'd be like a lead weight tied to its leg, jumping overboard. So this is something I'm watching very, very closely because the NASDAQ is indecisive. Oracle came out with horrible numbers, and that has thrown a wet blanket on things for sure. Now the daily, resistance, we just now poke our head over the daily trend line. Very nice. We also close over the 50-day moving average, which is also very nice. On the Russell small caps, this is the daily chart we're looking at. The last few days we've been busted over it. Very bullish. So remember, whatever small caps do is what the rest of the markets will do. So this is nice and bullish. It looks like it's starting to roll over. It needs a big pop, some big beefier white candlesticks. We're not seeing that right now. And if you zoom in here on the MACD down here, the histogram is dissipating, getting smaller. It means MACD line and signal line are coming closer together. If this crosses over and heads down, that will be a red candlestick dropping back into this big symmetrical triangle, and that would be bad. On the weekly chart, all systems go. We busted over the resistance line. This dude looks like he's ready to take off. The weekly MACD is above the zero. Looks good. Russell's chart looks extremely more bullish than the NASDAQ does. It looks more like the S&P. Lower high, but this lower high is higher than what we were seeing on the S&P. So that's a bullish sentiment right here. If this thing breaks out, we really need to get above 748. We're right at that. and we're at a major resistance point, and it comes across here, resistance, resistance, resistance. That's an area of resistance, and we're at it right now. I'm going to also bring in the banks. Here's the bank monthly. I'm going to show you a big trend line. Resistance, resistance. We come down to resistance. We're at major, major, major resistance right now on the banks. We have a big descending triangle. If the markets do break down, we go below 1500 and we go below this 1370 on the banks. All systems go on the bear side. But for the markets to get bullish, we need to see a big breakout here. I will be showing you a sector rotation, and you will be surprised at what I'm getting ready to show you on that. If you come over here to the weekly chart, the weekly chart broke out, pulled back to that resistance line. That was that resistance, now acting as support, and boom, for the week, going really well. We have big time resistance getting ready to come up here, and then on the daily chart, broke out of resistance, hung up here, took off. Now it's hanging up at the 200-day moving average here on the banks, but it really looks quite solid. If you look here, it looks like a crossover is getting ready to take place on the histogram. Lower highs on that histogram, MACD and signal line. Looks like we're not crossing over yet. We don't have a negative tick yet, but it looks like it could happen. But if the markets can continue to bust through this, that would be very beneficial for the markets. Right now we have crude oil hovering just below $100. We have gold just above 1600. Silver is at 29.05. Copper's at 3.46. And let's go to the sectors. For the week, industrial goods did the best, up 4.9% or 5%. Basic materials rallying back 4.5%, 4.4% on the financials. That is huge, gang. Look at all the green. For the month, every sector in the green. It's been a long time since we've seen that. Financials leading the charge, up 11.6%. So this tells me right here that we have a very good chance to continue bullish because we have the support of the financials here, and that is what the markets have to have. If the markets hit that, that resistance point I was just showing you on the banks, if we hit our head and drop, that's going to pull these strong numbers down, and that will be a problem. Outside of that taking place, if we can bust through that resistance on the technical chart, we will continue to see financials getting stronger and stronger, and that means to all you bears out there, get stop losses put on, because those things you want to get out of shorts, be looking for long positions in that environment. We're still a hair early because we're at some big time resistance areas, so the markets need to prove themselves a bit more going into the end of the year. Scroll down here for the 3 months. Industrial goods doing the very best. Basic materials go down, 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 down. Financials finally in green territory, still near the bottom. It needs to pull itself up here to the higher ground, but we're just getting started. Just getting started. For the week, financials are near the top. For the month, at the very top. Well, it's the Christmas season, and from my family to yours, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Daddy, are we bulls or bears today?
It's, are we bullish or bearish today?
Are we bullish or bearish today?